Do you want to finally learn how to send an email from your localhost? In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a contact form, how to use jQuery to validate all the inputs, and how to send an email from the localhost. So stay with me. Before we start with this tutorial, please make sure that you have installed some Apache like XAMPP, and also make sure that you have one Gmail account available for use. So first thing that I'm going to do here is I'll just create the basic layout for our contact form. Okay, so I'll say here contact form. After that, I'm just going to get the bootstrap. Okay, so we can quickly and easily design our page. Okay, so I'll paste it here, and after that I will just create one container. In the container we are going to have one row. Okay, maybe let's just justify content to the center. Then we are going to have one column MD6 with column MD offset 3, and in that way we are going to have everything in the center of the screen. So maybe here I will set everything to align to the center, and then here I will set margin top to 100 pixels. Okay, so inside this column we are just going to create the inputs that you are going to need. So those will be the basic inputs for one contact form. So let's say name, email, subject, and the body. Okay, so I will just say here name, ID is name, then placeholder name, and that's it. Okay, so maybe we can add some class like form control. So I will duplicate it 3 times. So this one will be email. Okay, and then this one will be subject. So email, subject, and then we are just going to have one text area, and that one will be our body. Okay, let's say email body, and then of course we must have some button. Okay, so let's say send an email. We will set some bootstrap classes. Okay, no, maybe, and that's it. So let's see what we have created so far. Okay, this is looking pretty solid. Now the next thing that we need to get is the jQuery, so we can quickly and easily verify this form. Okay, so I just like to have it in the one line, not necessary, but that's what I like. Okay, and then here we are just going to define some function that we are going to call here. So maybe let's say send email. So I'll say here function send email. Okay, and then what I want to achieve with this function is when we click, we will actually verify that each of those inputs for now are just not empty, so they have some value. Okay, and then I have some other tutorials that you can find on my YouTube channel where I explain how to use some advanced method to validate the inputs, but for now we'll just do something simple. So we are going to have here name. Okay, so I'll just say name, then we have few others, so it's email, it's subject, okay, and it is body. So I want to create one additional function that I will say like if it's not empty. So what I'm trying to achieve here is I want to be able to say like if it's not empty name and it's not empty email and it's not empty subject and it's not empty body, in that case we are going to send an email. Okay, so let me just do it like this so you guys can see. And then here I will say that this function will receive some caller, and then here we will test it and say if caller value is empty, we are just going to say like caller.css border, and we can say 1 pixel solid red, and in that case we will return the false, else we can say caller css border is empty, and by default function will return true. Okay, so let's test that part. Okay, send an email, nothing happens. Why? Let's see. Maybe for some reason. Let's try this. Okay. Okay, now it works, which is pretty much weird. Okay, so some name, okay, email, subject, body. Okay, now it works, which is weird, but anyway. Okay, cool, we can now delete this. And now what we want to do is we just want to make an Ajax call to our PHP side from which we are going to send an email. So let's quickly write one. Okay. Now we will just specify some parameters. Okay, so my URL is just this file. The method that I'm going to use is post. Data type that server will return is just, let's say, JSON. And then data that we are sending to the server is, let's say, name is email, subject, and then body of an email. Okay. Then here we are going to have response. Okay, and maybe for now let's just print the response to the console log. Okay, so now let's here verify, or maybe it will be better if we just create separate file so that it's easier for you guys to understand. So just create another file here. So I will go new PHP file, let's say send email. Okay. And then here I will say if is set post name, and maybe let's say and is set post email. In that case everything is good and we are going to send an email. So first we need to accept all the data that is sent through Ajax. Okay, so here is email, and then we have body. Okay, so now that's all that we need. So what we can maybe do is verify if an email is correct, if the name has certain number of characters, if the subject is proper length, etc, etc. And for all of this there are plenty of tutorials on my YouTube channel that I'm showing how to do, so I'm not just going to lose your time here. So for now we are looking to send an email, and for that reason we are going to download PHPMailer class. Okay, so there are multiple ways on how to download and install, but I will just use the simplest one. Okay, it's on my another monitor. Just a second. Okay, it's here. So I will paste it. I'll say extract here. Okay, we can delete this. Okay, I will change the name to the PHPMailer. And then here in the source we have all the files that we need to have. So I will just delete all the other ones, paste it here, and that's it. Okay, cool. So here now you can see that we have new folder and all the classes that we need to have. So here at the top I will define the namespace that you are going to use. Then I want to include all the necessary files, classes that we need. Okay, so since we are going to send through Smtp, we will need that one. And then of course we will need to include the exception class. Okay, so those are the three basics that we need. There are some others that you can use, but I'm going to explain that in another tutorial. Okay, so now first thing that we need to do with PHPMailer is of course to create a new object. Okay, and now we need to put some settings. So first I will say SMTP settings that we need to set. So first I will set is SMTP, and for this line later I will explain and show you so that you know when you need to have this line and when you don't need to have. That makes the big difference depending on your localhost. Now the next thing that I want to set is host. So like I said, we are going to use the Gmail, so for that reason we need to set it to the Gmail. Then we need to set SMTP authentication to true. Then we need to specify the username, so I will just use my email. Then for this email we will need to have the password. I will copy paste it later. Then we need to have port that we are going to use, and now there are two different cases that we can use. It's SSL and it's TLS. For SSL it's 465, okay, and for the TLS is 587, okay. And then okay, SMTP secure is in our case SSL, but like I said, it can be also TLS. Sorry. Cool. And now here we just need to set settings for email. So I'll say email settings, and those are the basic ones. So first one is who is sending an email. Okay, so we can say that the person that is sending is from an email and his name is name. So those are the details that we have here. Okay, so now we need to set where we are sending an email. So let's say the email where I'm going to read it will be just this one. Okay, and please guys, I know this happens all the time with my different tutorials. You need to make sure that you change this in your code so that when you test, you don't send an email to me, but you send an email to yourself. I mean, this is something that happens all the time. My inbox is getting crazy with this. Okay, and then we need to set the subject. Okay, that's our subject from the top. We need to set the body, and that's the one that we have above. And what we can do also is to say is HTML. Okay, and I want to set it to the true to make sure that this is going to be an HTML type of the email. Okay, and now the last thing is we need to just send it. So what I can do is say if mail send. Okay, we'll say echo email is sent. Okay, else echo something is wrong. Okay, and then maybe we can say mail error info. Okay, maybe we can say here 2 new lines. Okay, and that's it. Maybe this will be better if we say here, because we said in jQuery that we are going to use JSON. So for that reason we have set it to the variable, and here I will say JSON encode, and let's say it will be an array. Just say for now response. Okay, cool. So now let's first for me to get this password. So I need to go here. I will say gmail.com mail. Okay, I need to find it. Here we go. Copy password, and I will paste it here. Okay, so I have some $sign. For that reason I will just use single quotes. Okay, so let's see what will happen. Okay, cool. Send an email. It says something is wrong, invalid address, root at localhost. Okay, so now, so let's say test at live.com. Now we are going to send an email. Okay, and now it says that SMTP connection failed. Now this error we usually get if on our Gmail account less secure apps are not turned on. So how we are going to activate those? Basically you just need to go to the myaccount.google.com/less secure apps. If you are logged in only to the one Gmail account, at the moment I have 2, so you can see here I have user 0, okay, like this, and then I have user 1. Okay, so as you can see for this one, Coin Passive Income, less secure apps are turned off, so I will just turn them on. Okay, and now sometimes it takes 15 to 20 30 seconds in order for Gmail to activate it, but usually it will be done pretty fast. So now if we try again, let's see what will happen. It says email is sent. Okay, and now probably if I go to my Gmail account, in my inbox, you can see now that I have received a new email from my localhost. Okay, and now there is one thing more that I need to show you how to fix, and like I said, it's the problem with this line. So as you can see, in my case, I was able to send an email while this line is here, and if I remove it, okay, let's see what will happen. So now I hit send an email. It says could not instantiate mail function. So that means that I need, in my case, to have that line. But there will be also the cases when you will receive this error because you have that line of the code. So it really comes down to your own personal settings that you have. So just experiment with that, okay? So now once we have done this, you can see that sending an email from PHP and from your local host is pretty much super simple. Okay, and now the last thing that we can do is maybe just to say here that in this case we will have like status success, and then here we are going to have like status failed. Okay, and then inside our index PHP we will just check it for it. So we'll say if response dot status equal success, we can say alert email has been sent. Okay, else we can say alert please try again, like that's the error, and then in the console you can print to yourself and see what's wrong. Okay, so guys, pretty much that's it. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that finally you will easily be able to send an email from your local host. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer all of them in the comments below. And of course, if you like this video, please like it and share it to your friends. Take care.